Hi, this is Jumbo. Hello. Welcome to Jumbo. This is Michael Kraft, and we're doing a setups video today. We're going to talk about the way I set my skates up, why I do it, and hopefully you leave a little more knowledge about how to be an insufferable perfectionist like I am. I literally learned how to tie my shoes wrong, and I've never learned the correct way.
Is there a reason your axles are on the wrong way?
I switched skates at the Carriers contest to try the new size them shell, and then just hastily put my frames back on. Give the other side a little love too. This is my skate at the moment, and I'm riding the new Everything Company frame, my TNEC Frame, which I love the color, love the feeling, love the material. I'm riding it 60 flat, but I've been riding it for a while, so there's a natural rocker worn in. I'm riding with the Intuition Them liner because my premium liners finally bit the dust. I tightened my skates so tight I broke the tongue in half.
I've never even heard of that happening.
I've never done it before. But they lasted me like 2.5 years, so I would say it's a pretty good run.
That's cool.
Jumbo laces, of course. I need a wax lace. I got the hockey style lacing setup, which maybe you've seen before. This might require a little bit of zooming, but this hockey lace style, my friend Iggy taught me, and it really is excellent for pulling down the top of your foot and reducing your heel lift.
Question about the liner.
Sure.
Why Intuitions and why no other liner? Are they the only thing that works?
I got the first Intuitions when they came out, I think probably at Mike's or Leon's suggestion or something. That was a long time ago. 2015 maybe, 16. And they felt great. They feel supportive. They feel, God, I hate doing a commercial for Intuition.
No, I mean, if you like something, it's okay to
I do.
admit it. Are you riding him with that, like, stiffer out piece?
No, this is the Them specific liner because I had the premiums, but I prefer the premiums. They just bit the dust, and I don't have $230 to drop on liners right now, so I'll get those when they get those. But I'm skating some older ones that fit. They actually fill out the shell better, so in a way, it's an upgrade. But I prefer the really stiff tongue of the premium liner because it helps with the forward flex, and you get more forward flex on the high cuff setting, which is what I have in here.
Nice.
So as a way to combat the forward flex without making Royales more difficult, which I find on the lower cuff. And they feel like a little snugger. They feel a little stiffer and more supportive sideways, but I prefer the height, and I prefer a little bit more forward flex than I get, and that helps with the like weird extensions of my foot where I'm like kind of carving into my own foot. Having that extra ability to bend and kind of cushion into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The sole plate is stock.
Okay. You never tried any of the other like weird little mod ones, or do you just like the dim sole?
I have not tried any of the aftermarket stuff. I don't really like how most of them look. I think they get a little gratuitous with design. I feel like just because you can design something grandiose doesn't mean you should. I like the simplicity of the sole plate. Generally, with the biggest appeal of these skates is I love how the look down. I love looking down at them. The 909s look great to look down at. There are a lot of really good skates out there, but often I don't like looking down at them. I also can't skate white skates for that reason. It's hard to look down at white skates for me. It's very distracting. I mean, generally speaking, the truth is I think that this is like a very elegant looking skate, and I think a lot of stuff gets over-designed, and I appreciate that this is. I say that with these loud green skates, but I don't think it's over-designed. I think, like, as a skate, I think it's very pretty to look at, and that's a more important factor to me than maybe I care to admit publicly, is how the skate looks. The frame, of course, is the new Everything Company. I love the material. It's glass injected nylon in addition to the whatever plastic they use. So it's very durable and very fast. I find that once you get your own groove where you want it, where you want your foot placement, once you get that all going in, it is, I don't even have to think about certain H-block tricks, and that's a relief, you know, because it sucks to have a setup that you can just fucking do a basic trick and then eat shit trying.
Interesting thing about the frames and the wheels, if I was going to ask you a question, would be, you skated Wizards, you skated like doing all this like different kind of rockering and stuff in the past.
Yeah.
Yet you're skating just flat with natural rocker. Why?
Yeah, well, because it had been years since I just skated like traditional flat, and I wanted to try it again. And it was pretty interesting. The first day I tried skating flat, I was like, what the fuck? I'm stuck on train tracks. It felt as prohibitive as like anti-rocker did. I felt stuck to the ground because I was so used to, I normally skated 60 in the middle and like 58 on the outside, and so I was really banana rocker. And the ability to not just like turn around on a whim was so weird for me to get used to again. And I was like, oh, okay. But like all good wheels do, they eventually broke in. And I do have a natural rocker set up right now as just a normal result of the wear of pushing. You always sort of like wear out the front wheel first, the sides wear out in the middle in a different way than the back wheel does. And they all sort of align in a way that So I was thinking about this on the drive over because I was thinking about what there is to say about rocker that hasn't been said before, but I think I encounter enough people who are like, I don't know what rocker is, that maybe it's worthwhile just to give a brief explanation of it. So a rockered setup is normally where the middle wheels are larger than the outer wheels, so you're only ever on the center two, back two, or front two. And that is usually referred to as banana rocker because it has sort of a banana shape, little boat arc, banana boat. But as you skate them and they tend to wear based on where you push, and that tends to be, I think, on the ball of your foot mostly. So you'll find your front wheel has most of the wear, but it's interesting because even though the wheels here are all the same size, the way that I push off each wheel wears them differently, and so the point of contact is at a slightly different place on every wheel, which is sort of how the natural rocker ends up working. So if I'm like rolling at a certain angle, it feels a little flat, but when I need to like really get into the turn, as each wheel touches at a slightly different point, they all have a different contact point, I'm only ever rolling on those wheels contacting the ground. Some lift and some don't. And that's, there's probably a more precise science behind that as well, but I can't really speak to it because I did not think about it much before we started this. Stay fake. Right below the shin guard. These are 60. TNEC recommends 58 millimeter for the frame. I'm an insane person, and so I put in 60 flat. I've been skating the prototypes, the first ones that we got from the factory, and I think I'm gonna switch to the long soon because I prefer the stability of a rockered long frame, which is its whole separate conversation we can talk about if you'd like. These are face wheels, which are wheels from the 90s, a company that no longer exists. And they sold, like the warehouse or whatever, the factory sold a bunch of boxes of these by the hundreds on eBay, like 20 years ago or something, 15 years ago. And a bunch of people bought them, scooped them up for a few $100s and got hundreds and hundreds of wheels. And
they're good?
They're great.
Or are you just riding them because they're cheap?
No, they're great.
Huh.
They're like, I think they're 88. They're supposed to be 88, but they really don't feel like an 88. I think they're a 90, like actually.
That's pretty soft, isn't it?
The 88 is pretty soft. 88 is what you would ride if you were riding like wood parks because they grip well. But I find on the street they will grip if I want them to, and they will also slide on bare cement if I want them to. And they really hit a great middle ground between like aggressive wheels and flat ground wheels. And the profile that they come with, mine are pretty rounded off now, but they come with a sort of inverse ditch profile. There's probably a better word for that.
There definitely is.
Yeah.
I can't think of it though.
Yeah, I don't know what that shape is called. A trapezoidal profile. You can Google it, you'll find them. But they're really good wheels. And I bought one of those boxes from Brian Lusk, who an old friend from Arizona. He put it up on the internet, and I happened to get on the internet at the exact moment he posted it, and I furiously never typed faster and said, "Give them to me. Give me that box."
Just acid a down rail.
It feels pretty good. I like how it feels.
It looks cool. I never would have expected you, like, the fact that you're doing so many like different like ground like wheelbase slides and like these new glide things. I never would have expected your wheels to be soft. I would have expected them to have to be harder.
Yeah, well, so it's either a quality of this wheel that it doesn't like crap or break when I try that. I have tried some softer wheels that were not so durable. But also, when you're doing all the wheel slide stuff, and even just general flat ground stuff, the conditions of the ground are pretty important. Like if you're trying to wizard skate, tennis courts are like a great place because they grip so well, but because they're so rough and there's so much less surface area because you're on tiny little rocks, you are able to really slide right over the surface. If it's a little dusty, that helps too, because then there's a little friction, equivalent of waxing the ground. And so I was like, that's really dope. I totally get it, yeah. Okay, we are being kicked out, so we actually have to end this now. So that's fine. That's fine. We have stuff to do today. It's the weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the Jumbo setups with me. These are the Michael Kraft frames. You can get them on theneweverythingcompany.com if you want, and you can do whatever you want in them.
Yep. It's true.
It's true.
He wouldn't lie to you. So. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun, and genuinely thank you, Cody, for doing this.
Of
it was
course,
really fun.
Dude. Hey, let's go.
Let's go.
Jumbo forever. Woo.
I was just telling the story of when I had to give a presentation in college, and I was like, I know a perfect way to start this presentation. I'm going to do push-ups in front of everyone. And the presenter before me was like doing his on the danger of caffeine and how it affected the body, and then called me out in class and was like, this guy drinking caffeine right now, look at him. And then I like got up and then I calmly started doing push-ups in front of the class. It was one of my most regrettable public performances, but I think I pulled it off because it seemed like I was just doing a bit based on the previous guy's caffeine presentation. Not a good story, but it's a true story, and I hope that makes up for the lack of entertainment value.